Welcome to Field to Feast, where we profile Louisiana and its local ingredients. Today, we're in Empire, Louisiana, and on this glorious day, we're with Tesvich Oyster Tours. We're about to take the tour, learn all about oyster harvesting, and then enjoy some of this delicious Louisiana seafood.
Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Let's just start, Matt, and tell me a little bit about where we are and what you have going on out here.
So we are down in Empire, Louisiana. A lot of people would call this oyster country. So there's a lot of oyster harvesters here, but we're trying out something new. It's called Tesvich Oyster Tours. So we'll take you out on the boat. It only lasts a couple hours. And not only do we teach you all about, I can bore you to death, all the things we're gonna teach you, but we not only do you do that, but we actually shuck them for you fresh on the way in, and you can't get any fresher. And we're the first ones to offer something like this, so we are very excited. The few families we took out, they seem to be loving it.
I am so excited! Mostly to eat them. Oh, this week's so beautiful.
When people find out I'm an oyster fisherman, they automatically think that I'm way cooler than I actually am. So it's a win-win for me. I'm like, yeah, you're dang right I'm an oyster fisherman. We're about to drop the dredge and get some oysters up here for you to see.
To see and to eat.
To see, to eat, to clean. You're the oyster fisherman today.
Fisherwoman.
That's about 200 pounds. I know it didn't look 200 pounds.
We'll make sure to include that, everybody.
Right.
That was 200 pounds.
Yeah, it was a 200-pound dredge. You know, no big deal.
I got that, no big deal.
Yeah, it might even be 400 pounds. Who's counting?
We have been getting the best remarks. It's incredible. Matthew jokes because one of his friends from his gym said, man, are y'all paying people for these reviews you're getting on Facebook? And we're like, no, that would have been kind of smart to do if we weren't getting some good remarks.
These were rocks we put about 3.5 years ago. And wow. You're gonna see we have a variety of oysters, but you're gonna see the rocks. We pull up like a nice half shell, like 3.5 inch to 4 inch oyster. Let's check out what we have.
I'm so excited!
Sometimes the oysters, they come up clean. So this, you don't have to do anything with.
Right.
This, and it probably looks very familiar with. This is the stuff you see in restaurants. This is a great half shell product. So that goes straight in the basket. Sometimes they can grow real ugly like this. So these are two long oysters with these mussels covering it. Take a hatchet right there, and then we use that blade in to hit the mussels off. And then if you come up on a rock, we'll actually use the hammer end for that. There you go. Perfect. Now pick it up a little bit so it has room to come off. Perfect. Now you just shave those mussels off. And I didn't even have to tell you the blade end. You already got it.
I'm telling you, I was meant to do this. I was born to be an oyster fisherwoman. In need of a hair tie.
All right, how we doing?
I don't know. What do you think? How'd I do?
They look pretty good. That's some nice looking oysters to me.
Well, I'm getting very hungry, so we're going to take these oysters back to Rocco's Po' Boys in Baton Rouge and make ourselves a delicious oyster po' boy.
Sounds good.
Yay! We're back from a beautiful day out on the water, harvesting oysters for the dinner table. We're here at Rocco's New Orleans-style po' boys in Baton Rouge, and we're gonna head inside and eat some of that delicious seafood. Talk to me a little bit about being from New Orleans and the taste. Is it different?
You know, one of the things that I think has always differentiated us from everybody else is the authenticity of our product. You're not going to get a product like this anywhere else in Baton Rouge or for the state for that matter. Like I said before, in order to make a great New Orleans po' boy, you got to be from New Orleans. I'm from there, and this is the end result, a fantastic New Orleans oyster po' boy with Tesvich oysters. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to dump our oysters into our egg wash. Make sure we get a good dip, make sure they're all fully coated, and then for that, straight into the cream meal. So we're going to make sure that we cover each and every oyster very, very well, and then we go straight to the fryer with that.
We spent a beautiful day out on the water harvesting these oysters, and the only reason I knew about this particular company was because you had your son's birthday party. Talk to me about that.
That's correct. So I'm from, like I said, from Southeast Louisiana. And growing up, I had a camp in Shell Beach when I was a kid, so I know all the oyster fishermen in Belle Chase, and on the other side, so you have the West Bank, which is Belle Chase, and then you have the East Bank, which is Lower St. Bernard, White Klowski, Shell Beach, down the road, we call it. And then I hooked up with Matt, and I said, man, I heard you're doing these tours. I said it would be a great idea if we could take the boys out and show them a little bit about how we harvest oysters. And they had a fantastic time. It was so much fun. The best part about it was seeing these 10-year-old boys trying to eat oysters. That was absolutely hilarious. We had 10. Half ate them and half spit them off the side of the boat. But we were batting 500, so I'll take that any day. So we want to lay them out when we put them in the basket. We don't want to stack them on top of each other. Make sure we get an even fry with all of the oysters. Then we drop them in the grease. That's smell-o-vision, my friend.
I love it. Talk to me a little bit about some of your other menu items. You use fresh, local Louisiana ingredients, and it's crawfish season.
Correct. You know, we wholesale crawfish. We also boil crawfish during crawfish season and sell them in front of the restaurant. So you could just roll by, pick up 10 pounds and roll out. You don't even have to get out your car. Curbside service, which everybody's doing now. Today we are actually featuring our crawfish etouffee, or our soup du jour of the day. And it's going to be a cup or bowl. And that's also made with fresh Louisiana crawfish. Again, everything we buy is locally sourced and Louisiana proud. You know, we're at a time where it's extremely important to support your local businesses. And the oyster and fishermen down in St. Bernard, Belle Chase, across the South need your help more now than anything. And also small businesses like myself. We drive the economy. The small businesses are the ones that are suffering right now. Please get out and go support your local businesses. The greatest thing that I can ever tell you is there's nothing like bringing somebody into your establishment, if it's a restaurant, treating them as a guest like they're dining in your own home, and watching them enjoy a great authentic product like the oyster po' boy.
Speaking of, if you don't mind, thank you so much for having us today, but this is just
truly my pleasure.
My name.
Eat up.
Dig in. Ooh, my goodness. Are you going to have the other half?
Can I have a bite?
Oh, amen.
Let me try it out.
Field to Feast with Jennifer Finley was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.